All right. Okay, so welcome. It's Feb 7, 2023. And we are going to begin our Vaaks.
चला वो कहेगी तो ही नीरज श्रेष्ठ
Okay. Okay, let's get started. I think what Jeevan has done is probably from Lal Vaakh revisited Jawahar Lal Bhatt's. He has done 49 and 50 from that. So let's hear from him, and then we'll
I
move.
like that book.
Yeah, it's good.
It is nice.
Yeah,
So I'll go over 49 first, right?
yeah.
49. So 49, only two words are like, I don't know what they are exactly, what she means, but we can figure it out. It's like Mal Bandi Zolum, Mal Bandi Zolum, Jigar Morum, Tili Lali Nav Dram, Yeli Del Tro Mas Tati. Yeli Del Tro,
Yeli dial trov masteti.
So Mal Bandi Zolum. So Bandi, I don't know, means probably,
Why mal vandi zolum. Vandi zolum, like vodni, vandi. Vandi zolum. I burned the filth from my mind and control with acha. I don't know.
So the meaning in English, the translation, I burned the filth from my mind and controlled with force the emotional outbursts and pleasures of sense. Only then I achieved my purpose and came to be known Lala, when I devoted myself wholly to my Lord. So I think Mal is filth. So she burned the filth from her mind. And then Zolum is obviously she burned it. And Jigar Morum is she controlled with, force the emotional outbursts and pleasures of sense. Only then I achieved my purpose. So she says, Teli Lali Navdram, Yeli Del Tro Mastati. Means, she. Namaskar, Mana Dr. Kak.
Namaskar, Jeevan ji.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well.
So the 50th, should I go over the...
Yeah, did you get a chance to look at the second part of the book that has more deeper meaning, like written down? So maybe in the next one, when you do it, you can, because the book is separated into two parts. One is the Vaakh and literal meaning, and then there is like more notes on it at the back of the book. So that you can check out later on, maybe in the next session. Okay, you can go with the 50.
So the 50 is Andre Ayas Chandre Garan. Andre Ayas Chandre Garan. Garan Ayas Hyun Hit. Say hai Naran, say hai Naran, say hai Naran, Yim Kam Vit. Yim Kam Vit. I took to searching for the mystic moon by awakening my Kundalini, and then went for searching similar divinities outside. I got it all, and to my surprise, experienced the whole world saturated with the Supreme Lord, Narayana. On looking at the strange spot of his diversity, my head took a spin.
Okay, awesome. So we'll do the deeper definition of it maybe in the next session. I know that you have to go, but thanks for joining in for your quick homework recap.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Namaskar, Mar.
Namaskar.
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 Okay, hi everyone. Welcome. I think we just started kind of early today and didn't wait for everyone to join, but as and when people are going to come in, we'll just finish their Vaaks, and I am doing the audio recording anyway. So Okay, so we have. Okay, thank you first of all, Rajender ji, for writing that. Finding out what we have done and what we have not, and what we have to cover next, because we switched books from Hoskote to Jawaharlal Bhatt, so we have a bit more control over what we are actually doing. Um, Also, I think we can also refer to like Jay Shri Kak's book. I'm also referring some stuff from that. Okay, who is next? Okay, I think I'm next, but Aarti was supposed to do it. She was supposed to do her previous one, so Aarti is not here. So I'll go ahead with mine. I was supposed to do 38, 39 from Ranjit Hoskote's, and turns out that it is number 1 and 2 from Jawaharlal Bhatt's book. So we are going to just read those. So number 1 and 2 are together, and so I will just read both of them together, and then we will do the combined meaning. Okay. Lalabdrayas kapsi poshich suite. I, Lala, set out to bloom like a cotton flower. Kapas, kapsi. That's cotton. Kaidit duin karnam yetsilat. The cleaner and the carder gave me 1,000 knocks to rid me of the unwanted dirt. So she started from a cotton flower, and then she went to the cleaner and the carder, who rid her of her unwanted dirt. Next, Tai yelle khernam zervij taye. The spinning woman made me into a thin yarn on the sharp needle of a spinning wheel. So she has turned from a cotton flower to, and she's gotten rid of the dirt, and now she's been turning into a yarn on a sharp needle. Vovun vane gayam alhinzilat. The yarn was then taken by the weaver and put hanging on his loom and made into a coarse cloth. This is the first one. The second one is Doibi yelle chovnas doibi kaini pet. Doibi yelle chovnas doibi kaini pet. When the washerman pounded me mercilessly on his washing stone, Sazit saban muthnam yetse, applying soaps and detergents. Suits yelle phirnam haini kaitse. When the tailor cut me into 1,000 pieces with his scissors and joined them with his sharp sewing needle to make it into a garment, adat lal me pravum param gath. It is only after I withstood all these trials and tribulations that I achieved my goal of the total merger with my Lord. So basically, it's talking about that her first aim was to be just like the cotton flower, like naive and clean. And but what happened is that through the tribulations of her life, and she's talking about the dhobi, the cleaner, the weaver, the spinner, the wheel spinner, and ultimately the person who hangs her on the like on the yarn or whatever. So all these people or all these stages of life have helped her transcend from a cotton flower to finally a cloth that is use kings and Shubanju. Basically, it's worthy of kings to wear. So that is the definition, a description that was given in Jawaharlal Bhatt's book, that we have family life, we have, a lot of things that go on in our lives, and with those we have to fight those in order for us to transform from one stage to another, and it's a very difficult journey. Like she gets beaten and pounded, like it says on the dhobi guard, to turn into a garment. So basically she talks about like how it is imminent to have tribulations if you want to transform, basically. So that's what she says. And then Jayashri Kak's book actually talks about, it translates it, actually interprets it in a bit different way, where she says that um, she's talking about how she's representing a woman in the medieval ages, her life, how she starts with a naive life, but then there are it's that since it is medieval and not very appropriate for women who are forward thinking, or who want to be, let's say, alone, or not be married, or be devoted to God and not family, let's say, they are judged, and it's basically these tribulations that she has to go through as a woman. So that was in Ranjit Hoskote's also book that he mentions. But let me just okay, I'm just going to read at that first line quickly. She says that these poems as evidence are as evidence of Lala's trials and tribulations as a woman in medieval society, her awareness of the social construction of gender, the shredding of her old identity, and her transcendence of the socially defined feminine self, which she experiences as oppressive. Chalo, ठीक है. Now that was mine. Did you have the next one? Who had the next one?
It's me, I think.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Sarmun satit ditit anye panas tutkya vovut tu phalihi sui. You have cut yourself a height and measured it, but what seed have you sown that will bear you a fruit? Mudas vapdish gai rizai dumtas kanye dandas gor aprit rov. Fool, teaching you is like throwing a ball at a gate post or feeding jaggery to a stone ox. So that is the
Literal
meaning. Yeah. So Lala has explained it like the individual who is, she derides the individual who is attached to his pleasures of his flesh and his body, and as a mere height and a dead possession. Your body is a dead possession, basically. By contrast, she asks us, or whoever, why have you not sown seeds that would bring in a harvest, the blessings of life and prosperity? So maybe she's saying that, why haven't you sown seeds of spirituality or seen within you, and not the possessions or the outwardly things? Then Lala often demarcates the limits of instructions. She says that she imagines that a wasted effort she deploys like a ball is thrown at a gatepost because it bounces back. And it's as absurd as a ox given jaggery to eat. So here there's a difference between there's one book is saying that giving jaggery to a stone ox, and the other book says that it's like feeding jaggery to an ox instead of the cow who yields the milk. So basically, if you give cow some jaggery, the milk is going to be better and nicer or superior quality. So that's the only difference between one and the other book, basically.
Wrong connection lag gaya unka jaggery ka.
So the other one is, it's almost in the same vein as the first one. It says, Mudo krai na darunt prarun. Fool, you won't find your way out by praying from a book. Mudo krai chaina na ratsnai kya kai. The perfume on your carcass won't give you a clue. Mudo krai chaina di sandarun. Sehes Vatsarun chui optesh. So focus on the self. That's the best advice you can get. So, in the same vein as the previous poem, Lala rebukes the fool who goes to the extremes, believing that mere book reading is going to can give him salvation, or brain formatically will get him that, and wasting his life in the pursuit of enjoyment. It will give him all those things. So basically, she's saying it's all useless. Just focus on the self and look into your inner, deeper self instead of trying to read it from a book and trying to get it.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. Which one are you reading for the literal translations? Which book?
I did both, Mr. Call, I think.
Call?
And
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think so. Is it Mr. Jawaharlal? Isn't
Bhatt,
that the
Bhatt.
one you had
Okay,
put up?
okay.
Yes.
Jawaharlal Bhatt. Okay, and Ranjit. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, that was 40-41 from Lala. And next is Meera. 42-43. Shaz Fatafat. Achha, ready, sir.
आज जो homework करमत सारी भी ठीक होई.
Jeevan ji already came in the beginning and he had to go. Aarti, I know she's at work. If you want to go next, we could do that. I know you have to do like the 29 part of it, right? 20, 28, 29.
Yeah, but maybe I'll go after Mira.
Okay.
So my 42nd one is Kawal Chuk Diwan Anini Bach. Hey man, why do you fumble in the dark like one wearing a blindfold? Trukai Chuk the Andre Ats. If you're smart, you will go inside. Shiv Chui Atil the Kunmugas. Shiva resides within you. Don't go anywhere. Sehaz Katyamyani Kartopats. Believe me what I'm saying. Simple talk. Easy talk. So it's so simple.
मैं पे प्रिंसी जी याद फटाफट मैं पे प्रिंसी जी याद शिव चाहिए मगा
so Lala remonstrates in this poem with the individual who seeks the divine everywhere without being able to see that enlightenment lurks in every corner of the universe. Such a seeker is effectively blind to illumination, but Lala proposes to shake him free of delusion. So it's simple, right? It doesn't need any explanation.
True, but obvious.
And one second. 190.
जवाहरलाल हुंची 192 वंशना में ये राजेंद्र जी अंसूज ऐसे लिस्ट वंशु फटाफट इवान करन 192
243
आनी पेज नंबर 240 छु मगर वाह
वाह छु 192 सॉरी थैंक यू
अच्छा ना अथवा थी इवान करने
अच्छा ना अथवा थी X minutes, sorry.
Okay. So where do I get the book Lal Vaakh from? Amazon में मिलेगी क्या?
कौन सी?
Revisited, हाँ.
I have I Lala, so now I'll get the other one.
Okay. You can.
नहीं मिलेगी.
हाँ, you can.
मिलती?
मतलब Amazon India में है, मतलब.
Amazon.com मैंने yeah. What I did, I ordered. मेरे ब्रदर को भेजा और उसने भेजा मेरे को वहाँ से.
ठीक है. I'll have to find out if somebody is coming back. Okay.
You like hard copy, right?
I mean, you can find a PDF version on online if you look for it.
Yeah, that she has.
I'm just printing out pages, but I thought I could start writing in the book, it would feel nice.
That'd be nice, yes.
But it's creating a book right here, so maybe that's not bad either.
It'll be 1/6 of the book because we are 6 people. Chalo, okay, bolo.
I know. Pavan Purut Yus Anivagi. One who has mastered the practice of pranayama. Tas bhavina sparsh na bachit tresh. Hunger or thirst cannot touch that person. Tiyas karun anta tage. One who masters that skill Samsara sui zei nech. That means it will stop the cycle of life and death. This is also self-explanatory. It doesn't need anything. He who develops full control over the sense of breathing and lives with the power of his mind can vibrate the senses of his body in perfect harmony with the vibration of the sacred letter Om. This in turn synchronizes with the nature's celestial waveform. Thus, the spiritual awareness of the higher order is restored. In this state of consciousness, one is not affected by hunger, thirst, or sense of touch. No stimulation of any sort can ever distract one away from that spiritual ecstasy so experienced. Such blessed ones attain a state of ecstatic compassion and are born fortunate. They achieve undying order, so they are liberated souls.
Wow. Pranayama yoti chukarun maintel.
Pranayama yoti chukarun, yeah. Meditation chukarun.
As gets a pane weight loss.
इसमें मैं एक झूठ बताऊंगी. मेरे पापा को बोलते थे when my dad got sick, so my mom used to say अनुलोम विलोम कर सा अनुलोम विलोम. तो मेरे पापा ऐसे करते थे. पहले ये मैं चाय. It used to be so funny. 5 seconds and he's like, "Di my chai."
Actually, knowledge is so rich as pata. Karanchana is keen. As gets yaar Rogan Josh yaar chai cup.
I know.
That's nala. Okay. Next to Shruti. Shruti and also can you join ki teme show off such come. Okay, but Aarti, do you want to go next?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go with the 29th one because 28th is I can get in the.
Yeah.
I think maybe I always get the ones which are not.
Say kamay ko Melan.
I'll go with the 29th one, which is 72 in Jawaharlal Bhatt.
Yes.
Nafse Nuni Chu Madhostui Emehas Mangnam Gargari Bal. So nafas we know, right? Pulse. And it's like a elephant ridden with emotions, requiring to be fed every other hour, which is like all of us trying to feed our senses, thinking that that's going to get the dopamine levels high, and that's how the days are passing by. Lachman Sas Mans Akha Lustui. So 1 in 100, no, sorry, 101 and 1 in 100. Nathatnam Sare Tal. So there's only one rarest of rare of all who has learned how to basically control the emotion-ridden elephant. It also talks about the 5 different, apparently also called as the sins, is lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego. I think we hear about it constantly when there is this 5 senses and 11 gyan karmas and all of this. It's one of that part. So we are ridden with all these emotions or we feel them through the day: lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego, and we keep on feeling those emotions like a huge elephant, and which crushes everything that comes around in its way. But it's the rarest of rares of all who's learn how to control this and not be a victim of all of this. So, which is realizing again that the life's true purpose is uniting with the God, and that's what we should be striving when we are every day with pranayama, etc., trying to control these senses.
Indriya.
That's 70. If you want me to read through the, I think from the one that we are reading, that's also the same. Lala implores the divine to rid her of the longing, and also mandates to take care of the spiritual well-being of the others. She uses, Persian Arabic nafs is also used colloquially in the Unani medical system to mean pulse or subtle breaths. In Quran, nafs is regarded as the lower or bestial nature, which like you move from the lower self to the higher self. Rigorous physiological analysis and turning away from the gratifications of the material world, basically understanding that these are just ephemeral and the truest purpose of life is to be one with the God. And another reference was, so I realized that anything which has the slightest reference to Persian word, etc., Jawaharlal Bhatt just discussed is not mentioned in that book. So same here. So Rishi order, which is the Nand Rishi or the so-called son of Lal Vaakh, uska reference hai and says that the self, the self with the small s also means the ego, and the idea is to remove that duality. God resides within us. The smallest self means the biggest self, and that's the objective of life. So the aspirant is constantly urged to purify his nafs or breath or to polish it like a mirror so that it can reflect the glory of transcendent knowledge. That just says. I couldn't find 29 and 28.
Aspezi गणने ये session करून शुरू प्राणायाम से.
Yeah.
Zoom minute करून गए प्राणायाम पद करो चाय गिलास next.
I was actually contemplating that ahead of, but I don't make New Year resolutions and everything, but I thought maybe a Herod's resolution. Because I mean, I'm reading all this, and so much is on control your senses. Like what Mia said, right? Okay, to ye samajh aa raha hai, because while the Vaaks are 258, she's tell you one damn thing: get your job right. Please control yourself. Now I'm like, अरे ये भी पता है मुझे. Like now I'm figuring out कि हाँ ठीक है, you have to be one with divine, you have to control your senses, don't get distracted. This is the real purpose of life, all of this. So I was wondering, is there something that we can do?
Yeah.
Leading up to Herat to get even like 1% of this. Just get the pranayam sorted and nothing else.
Yeah, maybe we could do an end of to this session. It'll be fine.
Or like 2-minute mindfulness sessions.
So sorry, हमने पता है कि breath जरूरी, okay?
And breath जरूरी, मगर उस 2 minutes में there are like million thoughts that come to your head. You know,
no, but that's okay.
That's okay. But it's like people tell you, if your thoughts wander, bring them back to your breath. Are thoughts wander? I travel whole of India.
Do you
Come with me.
Have you done transcendental meditation, TM?
I have not, but I
उसमें पता है
tried so much.
उसमें पता है क्या है?
I'm with you, Meeraji. I'm with you. I can never meditate in this lifetime. Never going to
happen. No. Don't say that. What is this?
मुझे एक सेकंड का अभी मैं बैठूंगी मेडिटेट करने मैं कहूंगी अच्छा आर्यन आई कोड नो होमवर्क मैं कोरा गार्बेज कोड में अच्छा मैं बनी कोड में मुझे फोन यार my mind is like racing 24/7
ये करे सिर्फ काट करना हटे सब करो
क्या किया उसने
ये मुझे सिर्फ बहाना सब करियो म्यूट दशोय राजेंद्र जी
हाँ जी okay 46 right
yeah 46 47 48 इमन दशो नहीं करना वो मेडिटेशन आज
makras bal zan sulum manas, which means once my mind's mirror was wiped away, the dirt of worldly desire, adme lobum zanas zan, then I experienced him so close to me. I found the love of God. Suyele dutum nishipanas, suyel dutum nishipanas, sori sui buinaka. Meaning, when I saw him there so close to me, then I realized that he was everything and I was nothing. So again, this is it's all part of their meditation process where they have been able to clean up their mind of all the malas. And I think in Kashmiri Shaivism, there seems to be a lot of discussion about the impurities, different types of impurities which keep you from getting one with pure consciousness. And there are basically 3 types of impurities they talk about. Anamal, Mayamal, and Karmamal. So Karmamal is mainly the type of thoughts which may make you say that I'm happy, I'm sad, those kind of feelings of, um, then the Mayamal is more about this. This belongs to me. That is of mine. This is of somebody else's. That type of beliefs, type of thing. And then the third one is the Anva Mal, which is the subtlest of the lot. So in the Anava Mal, it's when people who have actually experienced the higher self, once in a while they keep going back down again, and so they have to recharge themselves in a way. So anyway, so she says she has, when she has cleaned up those malas, her mirror has become clean, her mind has become clean, so that she can actually feel the presence of the Lord within her. And once she sees the presence of the Lord within her, she sees that the Lord is everything and she's nothing. So that's again one of those which has been she has talked about so many times.
Okay, cool.
All three are like that. So 47 is Vaitizune, Vaitit, Mut Bulnovam, Daglal Navan, Dai Sahij Pre, Lalalal Karan, Lal Buznovam, Balitas Man Shosum Dehe. So Vaitizune, Vaitit, Mut Bulnovam. So she's saying, with the first rays of the moonlight, when the moonlight's faded, last rays of the moonlight, with Novum. So then she called out to the mad woman, and this mad woman that she's talking about is herself. So she is calling her own self, and she's terming her own self as a mad woman. Dag lelim navam de sens prahe. Dag lelim navam. So I eased the pain of that mad woman with the love of God. Lal Karan, Lal was Novam. So by keeping on saying Lala, it's Lala, I cried up. I managed to wake the love one inside myself. Malit Tat Man Shrutu Shutsovam Dihe.
Shruts.
Right. So then I cleaned up once I cleaned up my mind, I was able to mix with him whom I was looking for. So again, once more, she's kind of just playing. It's very poetic, the whole process of the way she's trying to describe herself as multiple personalities, all of whom are looking for the true self. And when she finds the true self, then she's totally drowned in it. She's totally overcome by that.
Okay. You had 3, right?
Yeah, I had 3. I think third one is also again a similar type. Suchas na satas achas na ramas. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this.
Let's see.
Sutsasna satas putsasna ramas.
Satsas.
Meaning
Satas.
कौन सा है ये
42 जवाहरलाल वाले में
42. हाँ, dear but
इसमें जवाहरलाल
जवाहरलाल में वाक 42.
ओ वाक
वाक 42 पेज 90. Satsas n satas. Satsas n satas. Patsas n rumas. For a while I didn't believe it, but I didn't stop a moment. Sumas me lalle chav panunui vaak. I gulped down the wine of my own narrative, which served as an intoxicant. Indrim gatkar ratit the volume, but it gave me strength to fight a terrific storm inside me. Satis dutmas tatichak. Eventually, I grabbed and controlled it and tore it into shreds, lest it should have overpowered. me, should overpower me. Very nice, very beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I think she's basically just showing all the demons that she has to fight within her own self to overcome all the kind of, you know, problems with the.
I love these Kashmiri part
The
of
way she
it.
uses
So awesome. Yeah.
Chak.
Kashmiri girls are awesome.
Okay, so I think we are done with our one.
जो वो आपने कौन से मल बोले थे?
3
हाँ, एक कर्म मल है, एक माया मल है, और एक आनव मल है.
Okay,
Actually-
Subhash ji, it's your turn. Let's hear something from you. You're muted.
You're muted.
I'm just trying to catch up. I'm sorry I missed the previous ones. I was away in Hawaii visiting my sister, Jayashree. Just came back. And I'm enjoying listening to all of you. Really nothing to add.
Maybe we'll assign like couple of Vaaks to you, and whenever you come next, you just come prepared with those.
Well, one larger question. There is a lot of repetition, obviously, which all of you have remarked. So, is there some way? Maybe one of you should provide a broader picture. What is it that Lala is trying to say? Maybe it's the framework of Kashmir Shaivism, which was mentioned before, centuries earlier by, say, Abhinav Gupta, Utpal Deva, and so on. Or is there something more from the layperson's point of view, because she was trying to communicate with the general public, rather than just talk to scholars.
Basically,
so maybe you, Amrita, you are the person to give us the big picture.
Big picture is basically of this entire Vaak situation is basically she's trying to simplify things and trying to exemplify things in a way a normal lay person can understand, so she can make them understand concepts of Shaivism. So that is the whole purpose of her Vaaks. Now, she has shown different ways. She's basically always exclaiming that you can be better. This is not everything. what you're achieving materialistically is not everything. You have, even though it might give you pleasure, actually it is keeping you bound to your lower self, and there are higher states of consciousness that you can get to. And she's trying to tell or like instigate people, saying that or even demean them, saying that why are you in such a position when you can be like me, in a place where you feel one with God and you achieve your supreme self. And I think she has mentioned a few methods of that, and which are practical methods like pranayama and kundalini. She has mentioned those two. And she has mentioned like meditation. She has not mentioned God per se, like I don't think she has mentioned bhakti. I don't think bhakti she has mentioned. She has mentioned only the two, I think. Any other methods that anybody remember?
Taste is, what she says is don't get wound up with rituals. And remember the one Vaak which said, even if you do everything by your left hand, which is not true, which is the tantric way, it's fine as long as you're focusing on the real purpose. So don't get carried away by the Vedic rituals, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Like some Adi Shankaracharya also says, right? You're all into months and months of charan, but just say the name of the Lord, something like that.
Sound, yeah. The sound part. So sound, Kundalini and pranayam, basically. So far, Subhashji, this is my understanding, and that's all. But I love Kashmiri, so I am here to really read the Kashmiri part. It's so cool.
I see. Rajendraji?
Aji? No, I don't have anything more to add. I'm also trying to figure out her I think what Amrita said sounds like what I also surmise. She doesn't seem to talk much about bhakti. I haven't seen any, but she does talk a lot about pranayam and about kundalini. That's what I've seen so far.
What is bhakti?
Bhakti is, I think, basically just pure, speaking of God all the time and looking at God as something higher to which you just bow yourself down fully and prostrate yourself to. I think that's to me what is.
But also, yeah, it is also, though, I think, like, what you do in Jagrata or Jagran, you like pray to them and like do bhajans. It's like a way of, I don't know if it's the music part that is the crux of bhakti yoga, but it's also that you are trying to submit, I guess, to the divine.
So bhakti, their whole purpose is to reach to that point where she's seeking divine all the time.
No, but
she knows it's in her. She has understood it along the way, but she's saying meditation pranayam, but she mentions Shiva all the time, doesn't she?
Actually, bhakti movement came in India where when these Vedic rituals were getting too much for people and the segregations were happening. So Kabir, Guru Gobind Sahib and Lal Vaakh included and Prabhavani, they're all considered, this author talks about this in the introduction. So they're all considered to be part of the bhakti movement where they reduce the cost of rituals and trying to achieve God. So it's in that sense that she's saying. Mentioning Shiva is not so Shiva is the god that what we want to see, right? The ideal version of it is not what she refers to. She refers to the
She doesn't.
nothingness and still everything, the Shiva that's inside of us, all of us. If you
even then she mentions Shiva, she mentions Vishnu, she mentions
true.
She is not
that
she's
is true.
not stuck with Shiva, but she is seeking divine in her whole process, even meditation, pranayama, whatever she I think what she I don't know.
मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ? I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it is finally, the final goal is to meet the divine. But I was saying the method to get to, is it bhakti method? Bhakti method is basically, I guess, to worship and get to that. But this is not worship. Like pranayam is not worship. Kundalini is not worship, right? I think. I don't know.
I don't think so, but I think वो rituals बोल रही है कि rituals करने की जरूरत नहीं. You don't have to go to a temple. It's inside. That's what we say.
You can if you want. So there are different ways, right? You can, like even yoga, there's Raj Yoga. You could be a yogi just by dedicating yourself to your
karma,
work, life, charity, karma, etc. You could be a yogi even if you decide to live the luxurious life, but at the same time you're able to detach yourself. This is all temporary, and what's the real purpose? So yoga gives you all of these different ways. Yoga is what union of yourself with the God, right? So you can do all of these things with these paths as well, but just not to get too much engaged in the process and forget about what the ultimate goal is, right? Like इसी सीक्वेंस में पूजा करनी है. पूजा का मूर्ति इतना होना चाहिए, इतना नहीं होना चाहिए, इसी दिन होना चाहिए, उस दिन नहीं होना चाहिए, ये नहीं खाना चाहिए, वो नहीं खाना चाहिए.
Ultimate goal है क्या?
You to realize and
to become a sakshi of ourselves. Become a sakshi, like one. So when you become sakshi of yourself, this is actually part of my Vaakh also that I read today. Basically, like to become one with the supreme, not even one, to realize that you are everything and everything is you, and you are part. I don't know how to say. You are part of everything.
That's what she says. Shiv Chitaman's underwood. So she's saying that, but she's not. She's saying Shiv Chitaman. She's not. You know what?
Matlab Shiv is the name. Shiv is the name of it.
Shiv is the name of who?
Of the supreme consciousness that she's
supreme consciousness.
Yeah. I don't know if you listen to, and probably it's Hira time, so there's a version which I really love. He Sada Shiv Azhamun. Have you heard that? If you carefully listen to the paragraphs, right?
Tale kya?
Which one? Sorry?
He Sada Shiv.
Sada Shiv Azhamun. I'll send it to you. It's beautiful. And one of the paragraphs, it says, Man Mandir mein aa jao, Man Mandir mein aa jao, which we feel like, okay, Shivji will come to your Bhairav ka kalash, right? But actually what he's saying is, come into my Man Mandiras, mat phet aava rahe. Right? So now we connect with this. I'm realizing it's not the Pran Pratishtha in the temple idol that he's saying. He's saying you reside in me, help me find you in myself and not roam around distracted. So this bhajan also starts with one of the Lal Vaakh, Shri Zal Zal Bhairavit and all that. I don't know if I confused you, but
I haven't heard this song. I'm trying to remember it.
Oh, it's beautiful. I'll send it.
It's not that song, right? He Sada Shiv Trishul Dhari. It's not that song.
No, it's a
Gattakastam tu Vachavatsuva Pari.
He Sada Shiv Shankar Trishul.
Is the ritual wala version ki mere paap hai to, or so there are two different kinds of bhajans that go around Kashmir, right?
So that's what my question was, that she does not talk about bhajans.
Yeah. She also doesn't talk about mera paap kam kar do. Mujhe maaf kar do.
Kaun karega? Because there is nobody to you are the one.
Yeah. And which is, if you remember that Vaakh where she says, when the end time came, I did not have a har or like a transaction thing
to cross the bridge
at the side. So you have not collected that. It's not like मैं पाप करती रहूँ गंगा में जाके नहा के आ जाऊँ and then like I'm all sorted, start my next sinful life. And that doesn't happen. But that's what even Adi Yogi reprimanded people of, because he saw in Kashi people are so focused on mantrocharan and this and early dips and all. He's like, just say the name, just say Bhaj Govindam, that's it. Which that's the bhakti move, the bhakti movement.
I wonder if we read in Lal Vaakh's until now about sound, or was it in Subhashji's paper that we like? Now I'm getting confused.
Sound ucharan, you're saying, like how the way you
like the sound might actually be part of that.
I think that was Subhashji's paper.
Okay. So that was in the Vaakhs. Okay, so that's what is our summary. If Vinita ji wants to say, then we come back to Subhashji.
I felt that what she's saying is that ultimately she's telling me that I'm myself God, like I mean, it's very difficult to understand it, but that's what it is, right? That it's you, you are the God. So who do you go and ask for forgiveness or anything, right? It's just you. God knows when I'll reach that level, but that's what
God knows means only you know.
Only you know.
Means only
you already reached that level. It's just that you're not recognized.
Yeah, but I mean, all of you are at that level. I think Meera ji is somewhere there. I'm nowhere in that scene.
Oh, please. It's a competition. It's a competition.
I didn't say you are completely there. I said the rest 4 people, like the rest of the 4 people in the panel are there. You are almost there. I'm like right behind you somewhere.
I think we all have different ways of getting to our deeper consciousness. I think for Vinita ji, it's the books. So she matches perfectly to the book club. Actually, she's the only person who actually reads books. मेरे को तो बुक क्लब खोलना पड़ा पढ़ने के लिए. So that is your way, I guess, Vinita ji. I think you get lost when you read, right? I know that.
Sadhana.
Give me a book and I can sit in one corner. But my child doesn't. But my child started reading My Moon Has Blood Clots, and she started crying.
Yeah.
She's, I don't know, she's 14, but I think she's okay because she saw Kashmir Files. So she's like, she was crying the other day.
I think the book is more, if you are reading it, it's more, I mean, obviously we have read it and we have all cried, and I have that recording. I have no heart to put that recording on on our podcast, but at some point I will. But we cried like babies.
I mean, I go to her room in the evenings when she's reading. Right now, she was like, oh my God, I can't get through these pages. So, but I'm glad that she's learning a little bit more.
It's an easy read, but it's also very honest and heartbreaking in a way.
Mm-hmm. The other day, somebody said, Vinita, get your schizophrenic brain out about these Muslims because you are doing a lot of political work, but you have to separate the two. And I said, I can't. And there's certain things I can't separate out. And my daughter said, I understand, Mom, why you can't separate it now. So I feel at least, vindicated that my child understands me better.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that it is this way, but we didn't choose it, right? It was
I think if they can read about Holocaust, if they can read about World War, they can read about this too.
True.
It's okay.
Chalo, theek hai. Subhash ji, any comments, and then we'll go into pranayam.
Okay, all that I'll say is that it's generally accepted that in contrast to Advaita Vedanta of Shankaracharya, Kashmir Shaivism's focus is to consider this phenomenal world also as the embodiment of Shiva. So in other words, you don't have to run away. And this is something maybe Laleshwari did because of the nature of her situation. She had to leave her home and so on. But actually, Kashmir Shaivism says that you can achieve whatever wisdom is to be achieved as a person of this world. So, and this is one of the reasons why it has found so much of resonance all across the world. Because a lot of people say, hey, if you have to become renunciates, then it's really not for me, which is about, Shankaracharya's thing. Although I believe that they really mean the same, but the focus, it's a question of more stress on this world itself in Kashmir Shaivism. Now, I personally don't look down upon ritual, because ritual is self-discipline. If you say, I'm not going to eat this and that on such and such date, it's only a discipline. All ritual is discipline.
Yeah.
And discipline is important to focus. For example, why do people do anything, or why do they sing? That helps them put them in a certain frame of mind. Okay. So I think the difference between bhakti and whatever else, or let's say Kundalini or Tantra, Kashmir Shaivism is really Tantra. Kashmir Shaivism is, you have, first of all, an idea of what the world is like outside in our imagination. But then, since the very heart of the Vedic way or Hinduism is that there is a single Paramatma or Atma, Atma equal to Paramatma, if you really think hard about it. There is only a single Atma, but there are infinity of minds. And the minds are our association with what we do, but the very axis around which all our memories are formed, it's like the eye of the cyclone. The eye of the cyclone is fixed, it doesn't move, while everything else changes. And that is what Shiva is. And each one of us, through different ways, there are different upayas that we have talked about, reach that recognition, pratyabhikya. The moment you have that recognition, everything changes. All that clouding that is in your mind, which makes you suffer, goes away, because the clouding is because of misidentification of who you are. The moment that happens, that's the moment you have that overpowering feeling of being one with Shiva. And it all hangs together. All these paths are really equivalent, And of course, going inside, meaning, okay, focus on the breath. And there are different kinds of pranas. You can focus on the chakras, for example. And when you do it, you won't, I can assure you, you won't have any other thoughts come in. If you do it the right way, the thoughts are mentioned because you're concentrating on the different points in your, let's say, down your spine. So, but there are other ways to banish thoughts. For example, you let thoughts come, as Amrita said, but you also try to track what thoughts are coming. They will go away by themselves. And this is, of course, called vipassana or vipassana. And there are so many other ways of mantra, this or that. But in reality, if you if you want to explain it as simply as possible, the idea is to be a complete, fully engaged actor in this world, in all the relationships that you have, but at the same time be detached. You know, it's a kind of a contradiction, and that also makes it easy for you to connect with everybody else, because the moment you realize that really there's no difference between Rajendra and me, or Amrita, or Aarti, or Vinita, it's only our autobiographical story. Otherwise, we are all mirrors. You know, we have things coming into us, and then we react. And that reaction, of course, means karma means reaction, and karya means action. So we are reacting, and that's natural. We must react. But if we can break that sequence of action and reaction, because then you don't have any room to be free. And that's what Kashmir Shaivism promises, that swatantriya, which is what Shiva is. If you see that prakash within you, if you go to that axis, and you can go to that axis only by the worship of the Devi, because Devi is Prakriti, the moment you reach the axis, then suddenly you're free. That chain of karma is broken. And the moment chain of karma is broken, you see things in clarity that you did not know existed. I think this is, in my view, this is the heart of Kashmir Shaivism, and it's totally scientific, absolutely logical. It all hangs together, and it's beautiful. It's extraordinary.
Awesome. Isn't it amazing that we come from the land of Kashmir? There is so much knowledge, and our genetics have so much in them. Our forefathers had so much of knowledge and enlightenment, and we are only scratching the surface at this time. It should have become better. Now it has gotten worse, and we're kind of losing it. It's very unfortunate, but we do our best. Now I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll just do some pranayama. If anyone's interested, if you guys are busy or whatever, you can drop off. That's fine.